Welcome to Beyond the Blend, the podcast that goes behind the science and talks to the people at the heart of the lubricant market, telling the real story of the people who make the lubricant market move. With real insight and honest conversations, we aim to show off the people's side from across the entire lubricant supply chain. Join me, Steve Knapp, and Rob Taylor as we delve behind the scenes of the lubricant industry. Let's go. Let's start with a quick 5 from 5. Vanda, beach or mountains?
Can be both, a mix. So sometimes, yes, climbing the mountains, and then when you are tired, you can enjoy some time in the beach, relaxing.
Good compromise. Early bird or a night owl?
Early bird.
Cooking a meal or having one cooked for you?
Cooking a meal.
Good. That will be an invitation to look out for. Books or podcasts?
You have both, yes. I really like the paper and the smell of the books. But sometimes on the way to work or even traveling, the podcasts are a really good tool to keep us activated when we are driving and also learning more.
Love it, love it. And the last one, laboratory or factory floor?
Being in both sides already, as you know, Steve, I really like the laboratory where you develop and you see. But factory, for me, is interesting because where we see the actions and understanding the process. But laboratory is the base to support you in the process, correct?
There we go. There we go. Well, Vanda, thanks for jumping in on that and sharing a little bit of your 5 from 5. I think you sort of sat on the fence on a couple, but that's good. Today on Beyond the Blend, I'm delighted to be joined by Vanda Franco, originally from Portugal, now based in Qatar. Vanda has built an international career spanning chemistry, laboratory management, oil condition monitoring, lubrication, and machine reliability. Along the way, she's become a recognized voice in the reliability, condition monitoring, and lubrication best practices. Today, we're going to explore the person behind the profile, her journey, the lessons she's learned, her passion for reliability, and where she sees the industry heading next. Vanda, welcome to Beyond the Blend.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you for inviting me.
And it's lovely to have you here. Let's go right back to the beginning. What first sparked your interest in science?
So, being honest, I started in science, but I was passionate to be a nurse. During the high school, learning everything about science and always thinking about to take care of the human beings. And when I went to register to the university because of the score, yes, that the grade that you need to have, it was higher during that year. I was not able to go to the university and to study as a nurse subject. So I decided, why not chemistry? Because I continue in science. And being in chemistry, learning the different subjects and could apply in the different areas. As you see, chemistry is everywhere, even in the water that we drink every day. And so during the university, I got even more passionate because I was having the theory, but also the laboratory to test what I was reading, which is really important for us, not only to read, being in the theory, but to see in practice what, if it's working or not, what you are putting in the paper. So everything started as looking for a nurse, to be a nurse, taking care of human beings, and now I'm taking care of machines. So I used to say, now I'm the nurse of the machines, not of human, different type of machines.
Now there's a tagline, the nurse of the machines. I love that. So Portugal, whereabouts in Portugal? Was you on the coast or more in the middle of Portugal?
The coastal, yes. My city is Almada, near to Lisbon, the capital, around 50 minutes, crossing the one of the known bridge in the capital. And so I used to live always near to the sea, and working not only in Lisbon, but also in the coastal area, which was amazing.
And Lisbon is it that city that has the very windy roads, and it has the
Correct.
unique transport to get? Yeah.
Yes,
Lovely
correct.
city.
So unfortunately, it's not easy to walk for everyone. Yes, but who is able to do it? We used to say to climb all the all those roads and streets. Amazing, because you will see the history of the country, of the city as well. All the places, restaurants that you can see. Try the different type of foods, and see also beautiful landscapes, because then you have specific places to see the views to the sea, to the river, and even to the mountains.
Lovely. And your family still lives there?
Yes, they still live in Almada, near to Lisbon.
And you get to see them how often?
Once in a year. This since I'm in Qatar. Yes. So being in this side of the world, also the number of days of vacation is the normal as in Europe. So, and usually I like to split. I'm not spending the full vacation in Portugal. We like to see, as a family also, I have a small kid. We like to see the other countries, especially in this area. Now we travel more in Asia side, since we are in the middle. But going every year to Portugal. So if everything goes well and there is no issues with the flights, in 2 weeks I'm in Portugal to spend some time with the friends, family, good weather, good food. Hopefully.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned that you'd like to cook a meal. So, I mean, does that come from that heritage, that Mediterranean heritage about good food? You know, that sort of more. It's sardines. I don't know why that's in my head.
Oh, did you try already?
I did. I find them gorgeous. I love them.
Yes. If you put in the bread, all the sauce that comes in the end, amazing. I'm looking for it in 2 weeks, because here, there are some sardines, but not the same as in Portugal. So as you were saying, Steve, yes, we see cooking as my father, my mom, grandparents, all of them cooking at home. No, we didn't. We never had a restaurant, only cooking to the family. And I learned also with my mom cooking. I'm not the best cooker, no, but not even a chef, no, at all. But I like to cook, and especially I notice here in Qatar there are no Portuguese restaurants, so to eat, yes, the Portuguese food, even to give the Portuguese food to my son, we are cooking almost every day. Sometimes we go outside, no, of course, to try also different dishes, but we cook a lot at home, because we love the Portuguese food. Yes, the taste, the type of fish, type of meat. So we try to have a little bit of that comfort here in our home in Qatar, to feel that a little bit closer to Portugal.
Yeah, keeps that heritage and keeps that whole kind of family feeling, I imagine, very connected.
Yes.
Love it. So as we sort of started to think about becoming a nurse, and then realizing that the score was probably slightly different, the science piece chemistry started to take center stage. So did you sort of invest more in education, and how did you find the route into employment? What was the story there? How did that part happen?
So I used to say that my story or my journey was not a linear one. Yes, I was adapting and studying and having higher grades depending on the current job, being honest. So I went after to finish the graduation, the university. I had to be a GT, a graduate training. Yes, during 6 months. During that time, I went to marine chemistry, which was totally different from what I was studying in the university, being honest. And I love it. I love it. Learning about marine chemistry, the biology as well, how the phytoplankton, yes, the microalgae are growing, are developing, understanding upwellings. Sometimes we are listening even in the meteorology about upwellings, which is the cold waters coming from the bottom to the surface and bringing more nutrients, more food. All this development made me to also to go to a master degree related with this area to learn more and to develop more and understanding. On that time, more related with research, not in a factory, no, but more related with research and representing, also writing some articles, posts, posters, having a few conferences where we were able to study all the coast of Portugal, from north to south, even going to some offshore areas to understand and to learn the species, type of fishes, the species, what they are eating, how the fauna is developing. This in terms of master degree. After that, so it was research is not easy in any country. Needs investment from government, as you are aware, and in Portugal, the investment was not so high or frequent. You go for a project if the project is finishing, and if you don't have another project, you don't have opportunity to continue the research. So what I decided, I tried a different area, which was pharmaceutical industry. Pharmaceutical industry, not having experience on that, I started from the scratch. So from the scratch, I started and I learned from the production, from the packaging, and coming to the laboratory, which was amazing, being honest, Steve, because I learned from A to Zeta in the pharmaceutical industry, also with the chemistry, of course, but from the raw material that you are receiving, analyzing that raw material, producing what is necessary, following the standards, of course, then packaging, which is very important. Sometimes we do not think too much about packaging. We think more about production, but the packaging and the stability of the medicine itself, it's very important for our health in terms of stability and validity. And then I grew up a little bit from the production and the packaging. I came to the laboratory. So in the laboratory, analyzing all the raw materials, analyzing we say the middle product and the end products, because you need to analyze the products in different phases also in the pharmaceutical industry until it's ready to go to the market. Doing by shifts as well, different shifts, contacting different persons, different ages, which is amazing for you to learn with all of them, different grades, different levels, and the learning with all of them as well. Not only sharing my knowledge, but in all these areas, I learned more than I was sharing knowledge. Another step in the pharmaceutical industry, I was a chemist, as I was saying in the beginning, and pharmaceutical industry in Portugal, you cannot grow more than a specific level if you don't have the science related with pharmaceutical science. So as a chemist, I was not able to grow more than a specific level. And on that time, I spoke with my superior and I said, what is the next step? What can I do more? What can I achieve in the pharmaceutical industry? And he was honest with me and he said, Vanda, you cannot go more than this because you don't have the graduation in the pharmaceutical. You are a chemist, which is very good, yes, but as a pharmaceutical. So I told him, but to go to the pharmaceutical industry or to grow more here, I need to study for another 3 years because being 5 years as a chemist and another 3 after the master degree, another 2 years and another 3 years as at the pharmaceutical science, yes, I told him, I'm sorry, no, I will not stop working because I also have my personal goals, my KPIs. I start looking for a factory, for an area where as a chemist I could have more opportunities and grow. So from the pharmaceutical industry, I became to the petrochemical industry. as a petrochemical industry, it was also a learning process, not from the scratch, okay? Because as a chemist, I was able already but I started in the laboratory, in the petrochemical, developing. It was a pre-commissioning, so I was a part of the pre-commissioning of the laboratory. The plant was not even started, so it was a laboratory inside a plant to follow the process from the raw material till the end of the final product, we can say, before going to the market once again. But while in the pharmaceutical industry, everything was developed, methods developed, and just follow it. In the petrochemical, it was developing as a pre-commissioning. Laboratory, yes, was mounted, but equipment had to be calibrated, verified, training, giving training and to the team to have my team autonomous, because as you know, working by shifts, you cannot continue working 24 hours for too many days supporting the team. So one of my goals, having teams also working shifts, was to have them autonomous, to release me a little bit to develop more what was necessary, which takes time. It was we can say a young team. They finished the school and they were already selected. They were not selected by me. They were already selected. When I arrived, there was already a team. Another great experience, because I was able also to give training to all of them, learn with all of them, develop the methods, do the calibration in the equipment with all of them. So we were also washing the materials, because it's another thing, another task that is very important in the laboratory. The material that you are using for the analysis, are you washing it properly? Are you having it clean before doing the next analysis to do not have cross-contamination? So another step, yes, in laboratory. So being in this petrochemical company, so my husband had the opportunity to come to Qatar, being on the same company as he was in Portugal, but just changing the country. He came first to see. It's a different country, different area, different culture, different religion. And he came first to see how he will adapt to. When he was adapt, I came just to visit, just to see. Just to see the area, see which kind of opportunities also, because I was having a career in Portugal and I was not comfortable coming to Qatar without also a job.
Let's just pause there for a second, because we've moved into Qatar, and so I've already got this journey of nurse to marine chemist to pharmaceuticals to petrochemicals, and this is like almost 20 minutes into our discussion, and I have to say, this ability to learn and desire to learn, where did that come from? Because you sound like, to me, someone that is just like obsessed by learning. Where did that desire come from? Do you know? Have you thought about that?
I never noticed, being honest, Steve. I never noticed that. For me, it was natural. Yes, it was not forced one that I need to do this, I need to do that. No, there is an opportunity, and just hold the opportunity and develop, grow with that opportunity as much as possible. And I used to say, I wear the t-shirt where I am at the moment. For me, it was a natural process, learning and reading every day, absorbing more information until today. That a continuous process, a continuous learning, and that I developed since early ages. So for me, it was a natural process, and to reach here, and I once again, as you know, changing again, and arriving in Qatar, changing again the area, the career journey. I didn't notice since on which age, yes, at which age I started learning more, or getting or being fascinated to learn more. So, but it was a normal process, and for me it was that I have opportunity, I will read more, I will learn, I will develop in this area.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really good point just to hold and reflect for our listeners, our Beyond the Blend listeners, who might be at different phases of their their own personal journey. I like the phrase, I always wear the T-shirt where I am. And I guess that translates to me is that I'll throw myself into any opportunity that it fully. And I think that's a really good thing to highlight, that commit to what's in front of you. I think that's really, really powerful. And then that sort of ownership part about reading every day, learning every day. I imagine that the world now is information is out there and very easy to access for people. So that theme about owning it and living it, I think, is a really good place to reflect upon. Thank you for allowing us just to pause there, because I thought that was quite an important point to see your journey up to petrochemicals. And then the thing that prompted the move to Qatar was finding an opportunity that aligned with your husband's move as well. But that was a significant decision, I imagine, because you said it came with some condition that your professional career could develop alongside that. How did you take that place forward in probably something that was maybe a male dominated culture, perhaps in the Middle East as well at that time, right? So I'm interested. How did you sort of find your place within that journey?
Not easy. I was still in Portugal and looking for the jobs in the websites, in the platforms, what was available. The interviews were coming only for specific jobs and more related with school as a teacher. So for industry, they were specific in terms of which nationality and which gender, as you were mentioning, Steve. Not because they prefer the man compared with the women, yes, at site, but for them, I can say, when I arrived here 9 years ago, it was more related with this area of the world is too hot, humidity too high, too much dust. So they are looking always, this job is more related to the man. They try to protect the woman and to stay more in the office under the AC, with the tea, with the coffee, and being a little bit more relaxed. And this is the culture. Nowadays, or since 3 to 4 years ago, that you can see more women in the plant, which is amazing for me to see them and always having conversations with them. So when I was looking for jobs more related with the school, and for me the easiest one was to come as a teacher. So I came to end because my plan was, okay, I will go as a teacher. While I'm a teacher, I will start looking for industry to see what is the process, what is looking for, because also to go to the industry here, it's easier if you are already in the country. If you are still outside the country, it's more difficult for them to accept interviews online. They would prefer face-to-face. I'm speaking about 9 years ago. Nowadays online is the most usable as well. So I came as a teacher, in a nurse, teaching the small kids, but I was able to introduce in the nurse science as well, the small kids, having some STEM, yes, the science, technology, engineering, maths subject once in a week for them to learn, to develop also the knowledge, and to try for them to get this, to start not having afraid of mathematics or physics or chemistry, because always looks like the monster when they go to the school. For them, it's always complicated. Even as a teacher in a nursery, I was able to also to apply science and having the kids learning a little bit of science. So while I was in the nursery, yes, I was able to look for jobs, and you will find this funny, Steve, because I was knocking in the doors and delivering my CV. It was recommended by one of the persons that was working with my husband. And he was saying the easiest way is you go to the receptions in the different buildings or even in the plant itself, if they allow you. You can give your CV knocking in the doors, because if you continue by using the website, They have receiving thousands per day. They read some of them. They do not read the others, as usual. Yes, the normal process. So I did that. In the morning, I was teaching. In the afternoon, I was knocking in the doors. Yes.
I love that. So we always say, you know, you have to stand out from the crowd, but I could never have imagined it in such a manner.
Literally, Steve, I was knocking, and some of them accepting my CV, and I was seeing, okay, they are putting there beside together with other CVs, but in others, I was having interview immediately. They were giving the CV and they were saying, wait for 10-15 minutes. And I had 2 interviews like this immediately. So for me, it was also a surprise. Okay, knocking in the doors, it works. Yes, at least I can have interviews. But once again, because I was a woman and because of nationality, because in this side of the world also, you have in each country, and each company, they have specific numbers. We can say specific slots and availability visas for each nationality. So on that, and also the package that they offer is different, depending also on depends on your experience, and they are also straightforward with you, and they explain that I don't need a person with your experience, because for this level, the person doesn't need to have all the experience that you have, Vanda. So I don't want you also to come and not feel uncomfortable, or the package that I can offer, it's not maybe what you are looking for. And once again, Steve, I was saying, don't think about what I can accept or what I don't want to accept. Is offer, and then I will decide. Yes, don't think about that. But even interviews, imagine I had one interview by phone during 1 hour. Everything okay, different questions, answers, and it flew normally. In the end of the call, the gentleman asked me, just remind me, what is your nationality? And I mentioned I'm Portuguese. Okay, I'm sorry, I don't have slot for Portuguese nationality, for example, after 1 hour. But it was all a learning process. So the final one, yes, I had one interview, which 2 or 3 interviews, more related with the equipment and the laboratory and furniture, to a company where they were designing the new laboratories and doing also pre-commissioning based on my experience. They liked it on my CV, so they interviewed me, and I was almost signing the contract for that when another interview came, more related with the lubricants. So before signing that contract, I went to this interview in lubricants. You can say you have a balance. Yes. I was evaluating the pros and cons for both. Along with my husband, I decided to go for lubricants, a different area again. So I was having the other one, which I was having already experience in pre-commissioning of laboratories. But lubricants was another level, another challenge. And what I could learn in the lubricants was totally different what I already knew about the pre-commissioning of the laboratory. So once again, another opportunity, let's hold it and develop in the lubricants. Not starting from the scratch again. Okay, lubricants, I had to learn more and again read more, but because I started supporting one company related with services, so they were receiving the reports from the laboratory, and you need to analyze the reports and give the recommendations to the client, which actions needs to take based on the full spectrum, based on the trend of the laboratory results.
Lower hit rates, missed targets, and no receptionist to patch you through because buyers decide before you arrive. Selling Lubricants Smarter tells Dan Wilder's story of ditching the old playbook. Qualify hard with SpanCop. Plan sharper meetings with Whopper. Use AI to move faster and turn technical expertise into clear outcomes buyers trust. Built on the biorevolution research, it's a practical blueprint for modern lubricant selling. Search Selling Lubricants Smarter on Amazon and buy your copy today.
And this is the first time I hear the word clients. So is this the first time customer comes into the job role, i.e. talking to people that ultimately use things that you research or develop or clean or improve? I mean, is this the first time clients, customers come into your world?
It's true. I used to be the customer, yes, and I became the service provider.
Yeah, and how did that feel? Because you've been a learner and an educator up till now, right? You've made things complex, exciting, and simple. An example: the people in the nursery, you were teaching young people a fun way or an easier way to understand science. I thought back to my teachers. My teachers probably were different. They taught me how to enjoy English language or drama or art. They made science very complicated. So I guess you had a real skill in doing that. So you've gone from educator to now this other side. So yeah, how did that feel and how did you handle that change?
I can feel that I continue as educator, Steve. Educator in terms of I'm supporting the customer and the different plants and explaining to them and supporting how to correlate the parameters that they are having in their report, or which parameters they should analyze extra, not only the basic parameters. Why they need to do that, why they need to do a filtration, for example, or why this oil is not in good condition, why this lubricant maybe is not the correct for your system, because maybe you are applying a turbine oil in a pump, for example, yes, that not supposed to. So in fact, I'm continue being an educator to the customers, to supporting them. Of course, the final decision is always from the client and from the customer, from the end user, operations, mechanical team, or condition monitoring team, who is in charge. But we are always here to support with the recommendations. So this is also education process for me to learn and to pass also this knowledge and to support them to keep their plant running as long as possible without unexpected issues and shutdowns.
Yeah, no, it's a good way of framing it, really, isn't it? That I'm still an educator, because what we learned through our work, through Plan Grow Do and our research, is that that's exactly what end users want. They want the insight from people that can teach them things that they can't Google, right? And of course, what we've got a world of information now that people can Google, or AI that people can ask. But ultimately, that's just information. That's not the insight. And all of your previous experiences enable you to provide the insight that maybe not everybody can offer. But in this space, I can imagine that you're now in this sort of area of lubrication. You're in this area of educating. Clients have become involved. But you were still in this culture within Qatar, within the Middle East. Were there moments where you still had to prove yourself? Did you feel that you had to deliver something exceptional or different or better? I'm quite interested in the psychology of how you move from that kind of Portuguese environment where there was no gender agenda. That's quite an interesting way of saying those words together.
Yes.
To maybe where there was something more subtle at play within the Middle East context.
As you were saying, Steve, yes, I had to prove every day that I was having the knowledge and I was also capable to support the customer as they want. I started coming to the plant itself, to the site, to each customer. And it was also difficult for them in the beginning to accept that a woman is coming to the site under the condition, yes, and imagine temperature of 45 degrees, high humidity, and we say 45 degrees at 7 a.m., 8 a.m., not at 12 or 1 p.m., yes? So starting the day with these temperatures, coming there outside, using coverall, using all the tools that are necessary. And the first time that someone saw me coming to the plant, they were saying, no, Vanda, come to our office. Your team will go to the site. You will be seated with us in the office. They will do what is necessary. They will come, give the inputs, and then we will have a meeting related with any issue that we have in the plant. And I told them, no, I'm not working like that. I want to go to sites. I have all the trainings. I'm having the coverall. I am having all the PPE. So I'm going to the site with my team to learn with them and to see which issues are at site, how can we improve. And then I will come to the office to cool down with your AC, drink a tea, and we can discuss about that. So they saw that, Vanda is a little bit different, yes, and they allowed me to go to the site as usual. Even nowadays, Steve, yes, you can see that in specific areas, specific plants where it's not usual for a woman or for them to see a woman. And in the plant, I can see the different eyes, the curiosity coming, and we go for lunchtime and they are coming with different questions because they are curious how you reach here, what are you doing, which tasks, why are you here at site instead of being in the office, for example. But I can say to you that I became, to some of our customers, I became as a family, because they are saying taking care of our assets is taking care of us as well. So I have one customer that is very kind and is a Pakistani. He's very kind and every time he's calling me, his first question is related with my family and with my son, not immediately related with the work. He's calling me, Vanda, how are you? How is your son? How is your family, health, everything? And then after 2 minutes conversation related to the family from both sides is when he starts with the questions and requesting our support for the service. So this is the kind of relationship that I was able to build with the different customers here in Qatar, which is a surprise for some persons as a woman, but it took me a lot of work, dedication, commitment, answering the call at any time because its service plants are working 24 hours per day and they need support if necessary at any time. So it was commitment, hard work, once again, reading, listening podcasts, evaluating the problems, sometimes similar problems in different plants and the solution work in one side, you can use the same in another side. Sometimes not, sometimes similar problem, but the solution is different. So as a woman in the beginning was tough to grow in this field and for them to accept in the condition monitoring lubricants that is a woman. But nowadays I'm feeling comfortable. They are calling me directly, sending the email directly to Vanda, or for the meeting they want to speak with me only, not with another person. So I'm continue being most of the time in the trainings, because each plant is having own training, as you are aware, Steve. I'm continue being most of the time, especially for shutdowns, turnarounds, onshore. I'm continue being a unique, yes, the only woman inside the training room, but I get used to.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've been privileged to speak to a number of female on the Beyond the Blend podcast, and I hear so many amazing things. I have to say, I do think so. Your story is one on steroids, because ultimately, not are you just succeeding in what was a male dominated environment, you're doing it slightly in a different cultural setting as well, which I guess adds its own levels of complexity, and kudos to you for creating such a great personal brand and people treating you as family. I mean, there's great. But I guess you were wearing the T-shirt again, right? Back
Yes.
to your example, you put the T-shirt on and you got in there and you did that.
I can say that nowadays I'm using the coverall. I'm not wearing the T-shirt only. It's coverall every day.
Yeah,
It's full.
indeed. It's full on, full
Yes,
covering.
yes.
So, was there anybody along the way that kind of helped you, mentored you, role modeled you in this culture, or was it all self-learning and self-observation, self-development?
I can say to you that I started in this field in 2018, and only from 2021 that I can have contact, or I'm having more contact with women in this field, even outside Qatar. Yes, in the using the different platforms and the communication. As a role model, I had my superior here in Qatar. Is not at this moment is not is my previous superior. He changed the role inside the company because for him it was natural to have for the first time he was having a woman working in this field with him, but it was too natural for him. He transferred the knowledge to me. He was supporting me in the different areas. No barriers between us in terms of he was listening me. Yes, my suggestions, my doubts, clarifications, problems. So I can say to you that previously I was not having role models in terms of unfortunately I had some role models to do not follow. The opposite. I knew that I don't want to be like this because of some situations in the different jobs as well. But I was not having a specific role model to follow and to be a mentor. We can say that I want to be like this.
I think there's two very important points there, really. One, we have, if we're in a sort of slightly more isolated environment, we've got our networks, haven't we, as our role models, as our contacts. You know, maybe people you've met at expos face to face, maybe people you're connected to on LinkedIn that you've become aware of the professional similarities. So I think that's a really good point. It isn't just about who's directly connected to you, but broader. So that's really interesting point to reflect upon. And I think the other side of it is there are people that you don't want to learn from, right? So you could almost take out the bits that you don't want to take forward and say, this doesn't work for me because of this reason. I've seen the impact on other people and I don't want to replicate that. So there's a couple of very important moments for us there to think about. I start to now see somebody who is thriving in Qatar, right? I see somebody who is all of a sudden now, having relationships where people are saying, thank you for taking care of our machines. And it leads me to something that I took a phrase from some of your work, and you said, are we listening to our machines? There was something that you wrote around, are we listening to our machines? Could you open up what you mean by that so people can understand why I liked it as a direction?
I will come to the I'm saying the oil and machine, they are talking, yes, between them, if we are listening or not to them, correct? Because most of the persons, each one is having different areas. One is taking care of the machine, the other one is taking care of the oil. The oil even itself is already giving you information. The lubricant is already giving you information that you are not paying attention to because, once again, it comes as we can say in the traffic, the green light is always there. So I'm just going. Yes, I don't need to pay attention. I don't need to stop. Yes, I'm not evaluating even because it's a green light in my report, which the green light, some results are already giving you information that something is not okay. Yes, because the trend is changing, fluctuating, increasing, decreasing, depends on the parameters. When it comes to the machine, you have a different team also evaluating the machine. Like you have usually operations, maintenance team, and even between the maintenance and operations, they are having different responsibilities, different tasks. And the machine is talking. Is giving already to you some alarms. It's not because you are having only one spike that in the bearing temperature, for example, or in the lube oil temperature, vibration, some symptoms that your machine is giving to you that you are not paying attention. You are not listening because it's once in a while for you. But if the machine is already talking, you need to listen. So basically, I'm using this expression, the oil and machine, they are talking, and they do not talk alone. Yes, they talk together. And everything starts in the oil. Before your machine says something, your oil is already giving you information. So you need to listen both of them to prevent and to take care of your assets. In the end, I'm always saying that oil lubricants become as an asset, not anymore as a consumable, because the oil is an asset as well. Not only to do not pay attention, to do not take care as our blood. Yes, we are not replacing our blood because we are sick or the analyses are not so good, correct? We are taking care of us. Yes, so you need also to, as we listen the body, our bodies, you also need to listen. In a plant, you need to listen the machine. You are the owner of those machines.
Yeah, and now we're in this sort of space of reliability. Yeah, so our lubricants journey has taken us to reliability, and it's an interesting another point of reflection, because you're now influencing people within organizations to think and behave differently. You've already used the phrase about people see oil lubricants as a consumable more than a strategic asset. And how do you recognize when an organization really embraces reliability? Because we talk about increasing life of oil, we talk about optimizing production, we talk about all of these things. What separates those organizations that genuinely embrace it? I'm interested in how you recognize this.
From my experience, Steve, is more when the customer comes with more questions. He wants to do more. He wants to analyze more, having a higher frequency for example, for the oil analysis, sharing their data related with the machine as well, and sharing the reports, because we are also working with a partner laboratory to analyze the samples, but I also have customers that they analyze by their own and they share the reports with us. So when we notice that the client is interested more in the machines is when they share more information from their side. You know also that as a service provider, not all the customers are able to share information. So we continue seeing that, for example, client is analyzing once the oil once in a year, and even that the report is not coming with any question. He doesn't have doubts. He continues operating as it is. In the other side, you have the customers that they care about. I see these results. I see my machine with these symptoms. I'm sharing with you this information. Can you support me? What can I do to improve? Which actions shall I take? I'm thinking to do this, this, and this. Am I correct? Or do you have any different approach, Vanda? So this is the type of conversations that you can feel and understand the client is interested in the machine that is taking care, or in the area with the different assets that is responsible for.
Yeah, and this is where the nurse for the machine starts to come back, right?
Yes,
and I genuinely sort of sense this care coming through into people's machinery. As we look to the future a little bit, I mean, who knows where Vanda ends up, right?
Yes.
We've gone from a nurse, marine chemistry, pharmaceutical, petrochemical, a small break as a teacher, into lubricants, into reliability. Who knows what's next? But what do you see that excites you most about where you currently are? Reliability and lubricants. What's exciting you? What's the future? What do you see coming next or happening? Or have you given that thought?
I do not think too much about the future, Steve. Yes, because life is changing frequently. Of course, we have our plans, personal plans, and also our career. But what is more exciting to me is that how can you take care of the machine? How you will keep the machine running? And supporting the plant and not having the shutdown, unexpected shutdown, continue with your normal production. So as the nurse is taking care of your body once again, for us to keep alive and our normal life, for me it's very important and exciting that I was able to support the customer, not stopping the machine, cleaning the oil and continue the production, not lost in production. Safety is also important, because when we are in a shutdown, we know that the safety is also a concern in terms of the process itself. So not only coming with the green energy, because nowadays, as you know, all with the reduction of CO2, of course, green energy, reducing the waste, all of this, but the most important is the machine, yes, and keeping the machine running. And in terms of future, the lubricant is a lubricant. We will not change. Yes, we need lubricants to keep the machines rotating. So when some persons are saying that, the industry will change because of the green achievement, the CO2 reduction, but lubricants are lubricants. They will continue existing, and they are necessary for all these plants.
So I mean, I've really enjoyed a brief conversation with you. The whole sort of journey of your learning, your self-learning. I think it's really inspiring. Somebody that clearly has translated science into really for meaningful purpose, and I think that's really, really sort of lovely to have heard. I mean, if you was to look to the next generation of, let's be very specific, females that might be thinking about joining lubricants across many opportunities that there are in lubricants, that might be a little bit apprehensive about jumping in. What advice would you give them, Vanda? What would be your advice?
The most important, I think, the first step is do not quit. If you are willing to go to that field, speak with persons that are already in that field. Can be a man, can be a woman, doesn't matter the gender, for you also to understand, or for the person also to understand which type of opportunities, which tasks, what you are doing on your daily basis as a customer or as a service provider, as a end user, doesn't matter, because as you were saying, Steve, plenty of opportunities related with the lubricants and condition monitoring and reliability. And being a woman, if you feel that maybe I'm not capable, no. As a woman, we are capable of everything as much as a man, of course. We just need to, unfortunately, we need to continue working harder in some areas, some countries as well, some cultures. But do not quit and learn from the other ones, share your knowledge, clarify your doubts, speak up. Don't need to be shy if you are having doubts. We are not the experts in everything. We are here to continue learning and sharing the knowledge and experience that we have from the past. But I think it's, yes, you need to be willing to learn more. Yes, and from different persons. You need to be open mind.
I mean, I think there's some real inspirational takeaway, and I'm certain people have been inspired by your journey as you've joined me on Beyond the Blend today. The nurse for machines is going to be something, if you don't mind, with absolute fondness, I will refer to you as all the time now. And I've really appreciated you sharing just part of your story with our audience. I mean, Vanda, if people wanted to reach out to you or just follow what you do, where is the best place that they can connect with you, or maybe see the work that you do and share? Where would they go?
So they can contact me on the LinkedIn. Yes, I'm not the kind of person, yes, that is posting every day, as you can see, or commenting and putting too many comments or commenting everything what I'm seeing. No, even if I agree or do not agree with some of the posts, I do not comment. I just keep to myself, and maybe I discuss internally with my coworkers about that. But LinkedIn is the easiest way how to contact me. and to approach and to learn more. And I'm open to support. I'm receiving CVs also on the LinkedIn, sharing their CVs, requesting support if I can find a job for those persons. In fact, as an ethical part, I'm recommending to where the persons can send the CVs. Yes, because I'm not able to give the opportunities, vacancies, or employing all these persons. I'm just guiding them I'm able to open the CV, reading the CV, giving comments on the CV to improve their CV, and then later on for them also to guide where to search or to where they can send the CV.
Perfect. Well, I'm sure that's incredibly helpful. Maybe your advice will be to go knock on those doors. Who knows? Vanda Franco, thanks ever so much for spending time with me on Beyond the Blend. It's been great to have met you. Thanks ever so much.
Thank you, Steve.
Lubricant Expo Europe is back at Messe Düsseldorf for its 5th year, taking place September 15 to 17, 2026. Lubricant Expo Europe is a must-attend annual event for professionals looking to discover or promote latest advances in lubricant and lubrication technology. Whether you're an engineer, executive, or industry professional, this free-to-attend exhibition and conference connects lubricant solution providers with end-user buyers and the entire chemical and equipment supply chain, with over 320 exhibitors including Kluber, Petro-Canada, Afton, Infineon, Lubrizol, Castrol, Total Energies, Brooker, and many more. Join us and see for yourself.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Beyond the Blend. Be sure to follow us to catch next and future episodes as we continue to explore the people within the lubricant market.